Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Kaylin Johnson. I attend Georgia State University, and I am an alumni of Towers High School.
So my name is Tang. I went to Tower School, graduated from there in 2016, and I went to Franklin Marshall College in Pennsylvania, and I just graduated as a biology major.
My name is Shahida Watkins. I went to high school at Towers High School, and I now attend the University of West Georgia.
My name is Hernán Gallegos. I go by Nani. I graduated from Towers High School in the class of 2015 and just recently graduated from Tufts this year from a 5-year master's program in mechanical engineering. And the year prior, I graduated from Tufts with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering with a minor in engineering education.
Hello, my name is Dion Kelly. I am a proud graduate of Towers High School, and I go to Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut.
Ooh, okay. Happy, free. What else? Resilient, relentless, determined, depressed. um,
Happy, grateful, appreciative, honored, flattered.
Loneliness, some excitement here and there, happiness,
Frustrated, aggravated, annoyed, sad, angry. I hope this list isn't longer than the positives.
Anxious, very nervous, undecided, indecisive. Shall I continue?
Nervous, scared, excited, emotional, angry at times, proud. Yes.
The feelings and emotions that I had during the first week was excitement and gratefulness.
That first week, it was just really, I was filled with emotions. So it was a lot going through my mind. The first thing was excitement. I'm just excited to be on campus, getting to know people, and, being alone in my dorm room, like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to decorate. So that was great. All of my family was really just like really behind me, supporting me. So that was great as well, just knowing that I had so much support and help. But then not the second week, like the second day, and it's just like you went to class, and then they gave you your assignments and your syllabus and stuff, and so you like, oh my gosh, it's so much stuff, and your sister's telling you, use your planner, and you like, oh my gosh, you got 4 classes, how do you plan all this?
The first week of college, I was kind of nervous because I didn't know, what to expect. I knew that it was going to be totally different from high school, but I wasn't off put of the fact that I will have to, put in more work because I knew that's what I was getting myself into. But I was kind of nervous because the environment is different. Yeah, and I have to take on more challenges. So, yeah.
When I first got to campus, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was very excited. I was literally yelling, screaming. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm here. And they looking at me like I'm crazy. But I'm just forever grateful that I have an opportunity to be on a college campus for free at that with a full ride scholarship. That are stories that don't really happen every day.
I do remember that I felt like I didn't belong. I felt that maybe I'm not smart enough for college. I felt that maybe I don't want to be in college. But as the process of me going through college progress, and I started to feel more comfortable and I made more friends, that feeling started to go away, and the feeling of belonging start to kick in, and you become more comfortable with where you are.
Just overwhelmed, mostly. Just because of meeting new people, being on a new campus, completely different atmosphere coming from Atlanta, especially the metropolitan area, to the suburbs of Boston, somewhere I never thought I would be, and just having a sea of emotions just overwhelming me, drowning me in the sense of like I'm happy to be here, but I'm also scared to be here. I don't know many people here, and it's a sense of just I would say rebirth for myself when I first came onto campus, um, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. Starting those 4 years of undergrad.
One of the few things that shocked me when I first appeared on campus was the culture shock at first. I never seen so many white individuals in my life because I grew up in like a predominantly black neighborhood. That was one thing. Another thing, it was just the amount of knowledge that was at the institution because you have this switch from high school to college and you never know how much knowledge or knowledge gap there was. You thought you had some knowledge or you should be grateful for some knowledge within high school, but you see like this big library or libraries of books, of abstracts and all the other stuff just at basically at your fingertips.
The college I went to was extremely rigorous, which is something that I'm not used to coming from high school. And I had to adjust to that. It took a very long time to adjust to the rigorous level of a college and having to do bad on the exams and the quizzes. It took me failing to realize that I need to step up my game and be more prepared.
Yeah. So coming from Towers to Tufts, it was a sense of culture shock. Not in the sense of, oh, obviously in the sense of meeting new people and seeing that they're different backgrounds coming from an underrepresented community to people who are coming from affluent communities, was one big shocker. But the other thing was the lack of knowledge I know about myself in terms of being a Latino, being from these under-resourced areas, being from Towers High School, um, just being first generation college and first generation American. Those were identities that I never really thought about before coming to Tufts. And that was the biggest shock to me of myself as an individual. Okay, I know who I am, but I never really paid attention to it until Tufts when it became a very prominent thing or very noticeable thing when I was the only brown kid out of many of my white peers in the engineering classroom or in an introductory course. And there was a sense of, holy crap, I am the only one here most of the time. That was one of the biggest shocks for me.
I spend a lot of time on campus at the Civic Engagement Office. They offer a lot of opportunities as a student. You can be a student assistant, or you could also, volunteer. They have internships there and other things like that. So that office really helped me a lot as far as being involved and getting to know more people. That's also how I found out how to be a new student orientation leader as well, just by going in their office constantly. So that's one thing that I did gain on campus. I also like the dean of student office as well because the people in there are really nice. So I just go in there to say, hey. They also have candy, so I just go in there and grabbing a piece. Hey, thank you, and then I walk out, and they always see me. They know me by name and stuff, so we speak. And if I have any issues, I can reach out to them.
So one of the very important thing that I think that helped me adjust to college is finding friends, especially friends of colors, and being in a group that makes you feel like you belong. And also finding a professor that you feel comfortable with sharing everything with. And I think that is one very important advice that I had to give to freshmen who are incoming. Finding the professor that you feel comfortable with, being in their office and just talking about anything with them.
So when I first came on campus, I'm not even gonna lie, being myself was kind of like difficult, and also it was weird to other people because you know how you hear every day, oh, be yourself, and when you be yourself, society be like, ooh, not like that though. Like what? So it was very it was a quite a challenge to like allow my personality to really shine forth?
First off, have an open mind, to understand that things are going to happen, but there are people to help you. So I would say to, like, if it's anything that you need, it's literally always somebody on campus to help you. All you have to do is have an open mind, go up and speak. Counselors, yes, we have counselors, your advisors that'll help you as well. So I would just say, don't close yourself into this little bubble of feeling like nobody's there to help you, because there are people to help you. So, yeah.
I definitely did get a homesick feeling. Even though I'm 15 to 20 minutes away, I most definitely got homesick. Not just because it wasn't like I could go home or I couldn't go home, but it was more just like, I know that I need to do this for me and I have to stay down here for me. This is going back to me calling home every day, like, I'm struggling, da, 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 da. I was crying every day during that summer. That first semester, I was crying a lot. But I realized I had to stay on campus and I had to finish. Like, I couldn't just come home for 15 minutes or drive 15 minutes to go home just to see my family, because I know I had to do work. Like, you can't just drop everything and go home and see people. No, that's not how it works. Even though you want to, but you can't do that. So I learned other things to help with that. Maybe I put pictures on the wall, and I also wrote down in my journal about how I was feeling. I prayed a little bit and just like kept that kept me going. I called my grandma. She was like, "It's gonna be okay, Kaylin."
When I first got on campus, homesick was not the ideal emotion. My ideal emotion was like, yes, I'm on campus. I did it. Homesick was not really what I felt at first, but I did feel homesick towards the middle of the first semester.
The only thing that I miss about being home is the physical aspect of it. I mean, I miss my room. I miss the food. I miss the culture here. I recently have a nephew, so I miss him a lot when I went away for college. But the thing that kept me going is, again, calling people, talking to them. Now, especially now that you have Zoom and all that technology you can use. But also finding your new culture in your new environment, establishing your dominance in your new space.
Homesick in a sense that I wanted to be free from assignments, free from just the daily student struggle of, I have this assignment due in 5 days and I haven't started, and that's a reasonable freak out. The food I really missed back at home. The sense of just like understanding that I'm able to help my family when I was living in the same household, but now not being able to. It really made me think that I somewhat wanted or needed to go back just to support them, but also realized that this big risk that I was taking was the big risk that my parents set up for me. Like, they initiated coming to this country as immigrant parents to give their son and daughter a better life than what they had. And so I knew I couldn't take that decision that they made in vain. And so I risked it, and I realized that thinking that was one of my main motivations to continue on.
Beginning in 2020, January 2020, I had made this big old thing. I'm gonna have straight A's, Kenny. Like, you have to get back on top. Da, da, da. And I was really determined to do that. Like, that's what I wanted but at the same time, I learned that you can't just speak it and then expect it to happen. You have to work for it, and it's a lot of work. In college, it's a lot of work, and I understand that pressure. So I would suggest pacing yourself. Don't try to be an overachiever, because a lot of times you can do so well in one thing and you burn yourself out for the next thing. So as a student, we have to try our best, but understand that at some point you can't do everything. You can't be the best at everything, and it's okay if you fail. Also, don't count yourself out as a student, because just because you mess up one time doesn't mean that you cannot bounce back.
Well, for me, it took a really long time. Not until the second semester of my junior year was when I found my group of people, and I found like the organizations that I wanted to be in. I found a group called AAA, which stands for Asian American Alliance, which is where we discuss topic of race, topic of racial injustice, and racial relationship between Asian American and other minorities, and also the white group in the country, and that was where I felt most belonging.
I would say being a part of the Latino community was my first sense of, okay, I can see myself somewhat belonging here on this campus for the first year. And in the next 3 years, those are different stories. Coming to a school of like a predominantly white institution, for example, or going to a school that's a PWI, it made me question, it made me sort of put down where I was from at first, coming from the hood of Decatur, like to be explicitly honest. If I remember correctly, I somewhat didn't want to be associated with that. But then I realized that that shouldn't be the case for me or anyone coming from these sort of areas that are underprivileged or under-resourced. And I thought about it and realized that I actually have the privilege of having street knowledge, of having the sense of like how to actually interact with people, actually understand people, where they're coming from. And I flipped my mentality on where I'm from. And to this day, I am very proud of being from Decatur, Georgia, very proud of being from Towers High School, what it means to be from these communities and to bring those perspectives, those narratives to these campuses. Because at the end of the day, if a student is attending a predominantly white institution, they're not going to have heard our narratives at all. They've probably seen the movies, seen the social media, seen this, just any medium of portrayals of these stories, but they never actually heard it from us in particular. And I think that's what needs to be done. That's what needs to be shared. I'm not saying you have to be a Google for everyone, because that is not our responsibility, but we need to be heard. We need to be showing that we exist. It's gonna be a hell of a ride, hell of a journey. You're gonna have ups and downs, but like it's all worth it in the end. And you definitely will have the support that College Aim is offering, but also what the resources on your campus are offering. And don't forget, but also don't be afraid to reach out for those resources, because you can't feed a mouth that's closed. You gotta ask.
Surprise, graduates, it's Mr. A. Y'all haven't gotten rid of me yet. I just wanted to pop up quickly to remind you to please complete the form that is listed in the description below. You will be entered in a drawing for a weekly $250 scholarship by completing that form. It should take you 1 or 2 minutes at most, not a big deal at all, and it's the easiest application you can complete for a scholarship all summer. So please make sure you do that. We'll select one scholarship winner each week, and best of luck. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.